Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here, welcome back to Extra Gents. Hope that you're doing well. One of my favorite things is clones of discontinued fragrances, assuming that the clones are done well. If they're not, I'm not really interested in that. Take it and throw it in the trash. But clones that are done really well of discontinued fragrances, I love. I absolutely love that. And Fragrance World is probably, in my mind, at the forefront of that as far as the major clone houses go. Really started with Starmin Nebula being a clone of Pure Malt. That grabbed my attention right away, and that one was very well done. And they've got a bunch of other ones. Ones that have come out before, ones that are coming out right now. And the one that I'm gonna talk to you about today is what I feel right now is probably the best one that they have. This stuff is just so close at just getting everything nailed down to how I remember this one smelling, both up close and in the air. The performance is there, the quality is there. It is just absurd. Like, this is what I want. I want more fragrances like this. Clone discontinued stuff that's hard to get and do it at this level, and I will just be... The one that we're talking about is this. Fragrance World Harmony Code Absolute, which, just looking at it right here, you can tell what this is, right? This is a clone of Armani Code Absolu. Armani Code Absolu is a fragrance I absolutely love. When this stuff came out, I thought it was amazing. I still think it's amazing. It's got a nice classiness to it, but then it's very sexy. Huge compliment puller. The vanilla in here smells killer. The spices in here, fantastic. It's my favorite in the entire Armani Code line. Basically, I'm saying of all the codes, this is the one I've worn the most. This is the one that I hold up on a pedestal, and with this one being discontinued and getting harder and harder to find, it bums me out. And also, if there was a clone done of this, and it was a poor clone, I would trash it and just, absolutely bury it, because you don't mess this up, okay? And so I placed an order on fragrancebuy.ca and got in a number of different Fragrance World clones. And it was very obvious what these were clones of. And this one, again, Absolu. I did a video on the main channel, a haul video, where I was smelling them all for the first time, so you can check that out if you haven't. But I've been wearing this one more, and it needs its own video. So I'll have this linked in the description below, and also at fragflex.com, you can use the code GS11 for 11% off your order. They've got this there also. So GS11, that's not just for this fragrance, that's the whole website. So let's kick things off here by taking a look at the presentation of the Fragrance World, and then kind of do a quick side-by-side with Code Absolu. So here is your box. Again, super similar to Armani Code Absolu. You've got the name of the fragrance, size, concentration, all that right there on the front. Eau de Parfum 100 ml. Fragrance World logo up top. On the side it says Harmony Code. Then on the back you have your sticker, your ingredients, and on the bottom your batch code. And here is the bottle. Obviously doesn't look like a code bottle, but it does have that same or a very similar gradient with the gold kind of going more clear toward the bottom. Got the name of the fragrance on the front there, little sticker on the bottom, and the cap here slides into place, but it's not super snug. So be careful if you're one of the types of people that likes to pick up by the cap, because this one can come loose a little easy. Pretty hefty bottle, actually. It's got nice weight to it. So just be aware of that. Don't want to bust your bottle. That would be a bummer. All right, let's grab a couple tester strips here and just do a side-by-side spray. So here we go. A few sprays of that. And a few good old Code Absolu. Now, as I said before, Code Absolu, my absolute favorite code fragrance. And I know a lot of people liked Code Profumo a bunch. There is a clone of Code Profumo that's really cheap called Sapil Bound, and that's not bad. It's not poorly done at all, especially for the price point, but I will say this crushes Sapil Bound. Sapil Bound is one of those fragrances where you say, yeah, this works as an alternative. This works if you like that. It's pretty close. It's not exactly the same or anything, but it gets the job done. This is to the point where most people, the overwhelming majority, are not even gonna be able to really smell a difference. Like, you could take these two tester strips and mix these up and then hand it to somebody. They would almost have zero chance to tell which is which. It's very close. And it becomes one of those things where, as a reviewer, can you pick out, a couple things here and there and be like, well, this is a little different here and this is a little different there. Sure, but it's really splitting hairs. So spray that on the skin, same here. Yeah, I mean, This is one of those clones where people are going to say it's pretty much the same. They go on extremely similarly. As they dry down, also extremely, extremely close. As far as the notes listed, honestly, I could sit here and I could tell you guys, oh, you know, there's a little bit more nutmeg coming out here, and oh, those carrot seeds, I'm maybe getting a touch more of that over in this one, but that would just be pulling stuff out of the air, making it seem like, oh guys, I got this, you know, I'm picking out some differences here. No, not really. Maybe Code Absolu goes on slightly sweeter in the first 5 minutes. It's not a huge difference, but there's a touch more sweetness there. After it settles in, when you get that suede vanilla tonka with kind of like this bubbling spicy sweetness that's right there along the edges, when that hits, they smell about identical. So again, if you want me to get very nitpicky and split hairs, Code Absolu goes on slightly sweeter. Once it settles in and it heads to the mid where you get that, again, vanilla tonka, suede leather, all that coming out, you get maybe a touch more nutmeg coming out in Code Absolu, but it's not a big difference. It's really not. And that's off skin, off tester strips, extremely, extremely close. So that's all great. That's all good. But does this get let down by the performance? No. When you spray that on, it performs just like Code Absolu. Nice projection, great longevity. This stuff is amazing bang for your buck. I know $35 is not cheap in the world of fragrance clones, but just it ticks every box for me. It basically just smells like Code Absolu. So essentially this is just to tell you guys, if you love Code Absolu like I do, and you don't wanna use your bottle, you don't wanna use it as quickly, and you don't want to spend the money to get a new one or something like that, this is what you need. $35, it's got the performance, it's got the quality, it's very, very close. You can split hairs, like I said, and say, oh, a little sweeter here off the top, a little more nutmeg as it heads through the mid, but really it's one of those deals where in the air, nobody's gonna notice that difference at all. It's very minuscule. You're never gonna walk by somebody and have them be like, is that, oh wait, it smells like Absolu, but it's like it has a smidge less nutmeg, just like tiny little bits missing there. You have on a clone. Yeah, I know, you tried to get it by me. Not this time. Never gonna happen. So that's it, Fragrance World crushed this. I'm just doing this to tell you if you like Code Absolu, you should check this out. And frankly, I feel like they need to go ahead and just do a Profumo and do that one as well, because this is as close to absolutely spot on as you're gonna find. So there we go, absolutely fantastic. Harmony Code Absolute. Again, 35 bucks, and it's essentially that. That is that. It's like that meme, corporate wants you to find the difference between these two photos, these two pictures. They're the same. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Stay safe out there. I'll see you again another day with another video. We'll see you guys later.